Hello and welcome back to the Projects module. In our previous lesson, we explored the Project module useful functionality such as customer rating and reviewing the full flow of creating projects, stages. In this lesson, we will explore Project Dashboard and reporting. Let's click on the project icon from the main dashboard. Clicking on the three dots of our Office Design project, let's navigate to Project Dashboard. This view displays a range of useful information on the project. Note that if project is configured in the project settings to be unbillable, we will not see a profitability review under Project Updates. We have explored details on how projects integrate with the Sales module and assessing the profitability of a project in a previous lesson. On the right, we see a Smart button indicating the total number of tasks in the project. Clicking into this Smart button will take us to a Kanban view of all tasks. Let's return back via breadcrumbs. Let's follow the breadcrumbs back to the Project Dashboard view. We will click the Timesheet Smart button. We see a list view of all timesheets. Let's press the Pivot View button. Here we see a pivot table displaying time and cost spent. Let's return via the breadcrumbs back to the Project Dashboard view. We also see the total number of hours planned across all tasks and subtasks in the project. Let's click Planned Hours and change the current filter from week to year. Clicking into the Smart button will take us to a calendar view of planned shifts for the project. We also accessed this view via the Planning menu in the previous lesson. Let's click on the Pivot View button. Here we see a pivot table displaying allocated time, effective time, and progress. We see a total hour planned for the project as allocated time based on shifts planned in the Planning module that are assigned to the Office Design project. The effective hours column displays the number of hours worked on this project based on the timesheet entries on tasks associated with this project. Let's click on the plus button and select Resource. Now we can see a breakdown of hours between all employees. We can click on the plus button on the horizontal axis and select Start Day and then Week. Now we see planned hours for all employees per week. As with other areas in Odoo, we have the option to download the information or insert the table into a spreadsheet. Let's follow the breadcrumbs back to the main dashboard view. We will click the Timesheets and Planning Smart button. Here we see a pivot table displaying planned hours, effective hours, and remaining hours per month. We see a total hour planned for the project, based on shifts planned in the Planning module that are assigned to the Office Design project. The effective hours column displays the number of hours worked on this project, based on the timesheet entries on tasks associated with this project. The remaining hours column displays the difference between planned hours and the hours currently spent on the project. Let's click the plus button next to the week and select Employee. Now we can see a breakdown of hours between all employees during this month. We can flip the axis of the pivot table if needed by selecting the respective icon. Clicking the Expand All icon will display time across employees for all months. As with other areas in Odoo, we have the option to download the information or insert the table into a spreadsheet. Let's return via the breadcrumbs back to the Project Dashboard view. The Document Smart button indicates the number of documents saved in this project. Clicking into this Smart button takes us to a Kanban view of all documents, which we also accessed via the Documents menu that we saw in our previous lesson. Let's return via the breadcrumbs back to the Project Dashboard view. Next, we see the Burndown Chart Smart button. Clicking into this button, we see a line chart with default filter and group by for this project. These filters can be adjusted as required. Let's change this view to a bar chart by clicking the respective icon and then stacking the chart. Here we can easily compare open tasks across stages, seeing that there are an equal number of tasks in the progress stage and the new stage created in this year. Let's remove the open filter by clicking the X like so. We can choose from a range of filters to meet your reporting needs. Let's select Deadline and then September, where we now only see a count of tasks with a September deadline displayed. Clicking the Measures button provides options to change the display. Let's return via the breadcrumbs back to the Project Dashboard view. Next, we see Milestone heading. Here we can see a brief overview of the project milestone, including whether the milestone has been met, whether the milestone is outdated, and the deadline for each milestone. We can quickly delete or add a milestone from this view as needed. As we are in a database with full accounting installed, we could add a budget for this project. We have discussed profitability and budgets in a previous lesson. On the left, we see any project updates displayed. Let's click New to create a new update. Let's name our update Monthly Review. We can set the status of the update. We see that the status is defaulted to On Track. We can change the status of the update to At Risk, Off Track, or On Hold if required. As our project is on track, let's leave the status as is. We can manually update the progress bar as needed. Let's update the progress to 60%. The auto date populates to the current date. In the Description tab, a default template appears providing current updates based on the information provided in the tabs displayed on the right. We can write a summary as needed. Under Activities, we see updates auto-populated from information from the Smart buttons on the Product Update view, including profitability and milestones. This information can be manually edited as needed. Let's click the Manual Save button to save changes and then follow the breadcrumbs back to our Project Dashboard view. We now see our new project update. Let's follow the breadcrumbs back to the Kanban view of all projects and click on the 3 dots on our Office Design project. We see the Tasks Analysis, Burndown chart, Timesheets and Planning Analysis, and Customer Ratings under Reporting. We see the option to share the project with external users. We have discussed this functionality in a previous lesson. Lastly, we can access the settings of the project by clicking on the respective heading. Please refer to previous lessons for further details on how to manage the settings of a project. Well, that's it. We've successfully reviewed how to use Project Dashboard and Reporting to effectively overview many aspects of your project. Why don't you head to our last lesson, where we will explore the My Tasks functionality and reporting menus, as well as practical workflow of user interaction within the project. Thanks for watching, and until next time.